The world without the wheel. How would our lives be in 2025? Part 1. The impossibility of movement. Transport paralysis. The wheel is not just a round object. It is the most fundamental physical solution that minimizes friction and changed the course of history. In 2025, this solution doesn't exist. 1. The end of roads, the Sled Civilization. The logistics nightmare. No cars, no trains, not even bicycles. Large loads are transported not by modern container ships, but by massive sliding sleds. These sleds create terrible friction, especially on gravel, sand, or concrete surfaces. Specialized roads. Cities have adapted to the absence of the wheel. Main arteries are built from constantly oiled wooden logs or polished granite blocks to minimize friction. The maintenance of these roads has become a huge public budget item. The rise of animal power. Since the petroleum and automotive industries are non-existent, horses, mules, and oxen are the primary means of transportation. Hundreds of animals are needed to haul a cargo train intercity. Animal husbandry and feeding are among the largest sectors of the economy. Striking detail: transporting 1 ton of steel 100 kilometers, which takes hours today, would take weeks in this world and cost 100 times more. Global trade has been nearly nullified. 2. The fate of air and sea travel engine components. Airplanes fundamentally rely on rotating bearings in their engines, propellers, and landing gear. Without the wheel principle, modern jet engines are impossible. The skies. The skies are filled with strange flying machines that operate on slow, primitive flapping wing, ornithopter style, or launching friction-based systems. Speed and capacity are low. The oceans. The lack of pulleys, rudder systems, and modern propeller mechanisms used in shipbuilding has returned sea trade to the era of primitive sailing ships. Part 2. The Industrial Revolution never came. The wheel is critical not just for movement, but for power transmission. Cogs, gears, pulleys. They all depend on the principle of rotation. 1. The electricity-less civilization. Power generation, electric generating turbines, hydro, wind, or steam. Generators and gearboxes rely on the wheel principle. The absence of these tools makes large-scale, centralized electricity grids impossible. The energy solution. For their limited energy needs, people have turned more to alternatives less dependent on the wheel, such as solar panels, though production without the wheel is difficult, static magnetic fields, and biofuels. But energy is a luxury and a scarce resource. 2. The rise of handcrafted technology, manufacturing difficulties. The fundamental principle of rotation is found in conveyor belts, rotating tools, drills, lathes, and moving robotic arms used in factories. Their absence makes mass production impossible. The computer of 2025. Although technologies like computers and the internet may have been invented independently of the wheel, their production is incredibly slow. Every single component is nearly handcrafted. A smartphone costs the equivalent of a car today and is accessible only to a select few. Striking detail. Due to the difficulty of production, the most valuable assets in the wheelless 2025 are labor and craftsmanship. Carpenters, blacksmiths, and stonemasons are among the most respected professions in society. Part 3. Globalization and city life. The non-invention of the wheel has fundamentally shaped social and economic structures. 1. Locally focused living, village cities. The end of megacities. Metropolises like New York or Tokyo could not be fed or grow to their current size due to logistical impossibilities. People live in small, self-sufficient communities within walking distance of food and water sources. The food chain. Every community must produce its own food to survive. Since agricultural technology, tractors, etc., is dependent on the wheel, farming remains primitive and relies heavily on human labor. 2. The evolution of the human body. The porter culture. Since most cargo transport is done by human power, people's physical structure has changed. Humans are more muscular, enduring, and better adapted to walking than they are today. The professional porter guilds are one of the most powerful and wealthiest groups. Architecture. Buildings are primarily constructed from wood, clay, and local stone because building materials are difficult to transport. There are no skyscrapers. Cities are low-rise and dense. This world would be a unique dystopia ruled by slowness, labor, and locality, but one that still possesses modern knowledge and digital communication.